this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no one.
a second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings, you're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake, and we're here to show you what they got.
Yes, indeed.
I'm running a bit under the weather today, so what I'm going to be doing is getting my stuff out first because I only have a handful, and Jake has a whole bunch. But one thing that we both understand is there's no Gundam.
Yes, indeed.
But there are some fun ones coming to a retailer near you.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, with that being done, there's actually only one coming out that I have that I actually own a copy of already, and that is an Essentials called C Control. So, let me go ahead and push this over here. Boop. Alright. So, of course, this is my copy that I got for $10. You can see the comparison. It's a limited edition copy, which is not bad. It's essentially, it's a kind of shonen anime based off of the stock market. And you know, all those underground fights that happen in the stock market.
Yep.
It's a decent sci-fi / anime, but nothing I would purchase for a large price. So Essentials probably is a good lineup for this. Now, second up on my list is Boruto Set 4. That's coming out. I don't have much to say about it. I'm still working my way through Naruto. I'm getting ready to start 36. I've read the manga all the way, but I still need to finish that. And then maybe I'll think about working on Boruto. I did get the first 3 when they were on sale, and they had a Naruto sale where they were pretty damn cheap, the first 3. Or first 3, I think. Because I ended up getting those, I believe. Or is it first 2? I think it was the first 2 I got. I don't know. But 4 is the one coming out. So if you want to continue the Naruto adventures, you can get Boruto Set 4. And then, of course, finally, one that I'm sure Jake will take over for me after I'm done with it, which is the release of The Gentleman, which that could have gone to either of us, but let's see, 3 of them. But Jake has 7 already, so I decided I would steal that one from him. We did get to see that in theaters this year. It's, I think, it might be the only one I got out to see in theater. No, one of 2 films I got out to see in theaters this year before the plague hit. And it's a rather fun piece. It is a piece about drugs, spying, all sorts of actiony stuff going on. It has a multi-layer plot and one that is very, very fun. If you haven't checked this piece out, this is your chance. I would most definitely recommend it, though I'll probably be waiting until it goes on sale. So I will pass it to you. I know you've got your own view on that, so here you go.
Oh, yeah. We went to see The Gentleman on my birthday weekend, I believe. And, it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It's a return to form for Guy Ritchie. I think Hugh Grant should be on the short list for supporting actor next year. He was great. And overall, it was very enjoyable. And I'll look forward to that one. Now, on a very different sort of film, but one that I suspect you would enjoy, Septums, this week's release from Criterion. It's called The Cremator. And this is per Criterion. Czechoslovak new wave iconoclast Juraj Herz, terrifying, darkly comic vision of the horrors of totalitarian ideologies, stars a supremely chilling Rudolf Ruzinski as the pathologically morbid Karel Kopfkingel. Sorry if I'm butchering these names. A crematorium manager in 1930s Prague who believes fervently that death offers the only true relief from human suffering. When he is recruited by the Nazis, Kopfringel's increasingly deranged worldview drives him to formulate his own shocking final solution. Etc., etc. It says, The Cremator is one of cinema's most trenchant and disturbing portraits of the banality of evil. And they're going all out with this release. Well, not all out, but they've got a pretty fair number of special features, a documentary, a new interview, a couple documentaries actually. Not really going all out, but still it's good for them. Good release for them. A film that arguably is on a different end of the channel in terms of what might be thought of as a film for art buffs is a film whose very title amuses me, and thus I must see it. And that is an old Western from the year I was born, called Cattle Annie and Little Britches, which stars as the titular characters Diane Lane and Amanda Plummer, and also features such luminaries as Scott Glenn, Burt Lancaster, Rod Steiger, etc., etc. Considering that I just watched a production with Rod Steiger from a couple years earlier, it just seems kind of especially appropriate that I had to mention that one. I don't have much more to say on it. It just looks fun. I want to see it. I'll have to get it. One that I could have lugged downstairs the first 4 volumes, but I didn't feel like it. But because I only have 4 of 7 seasons and they take up a lot of space, I will be looking at getting this week's release of 30 Rock, the complete series. If you have not yet checked out 30 Rock, which is a very unusual comedy set at 30 Rockefeller Plaza, which is, I believe, the actual headquarters of NBC Studios, and centers around the head honcho, gleefully clueless Alec Baldwin, his much put upon basically the person who really does things, who's played by Tina Fey, Liz Lemon's her character, and she runs a sketch comedy show called TSG, which stars 2 characters played by Jane Krakowski and Tracy Morgan, and both of them are divas to the nth degree and very unusual. And the show is peppered with a whole bunch of others. A lifelong Page played by Jack McBrayer, who's just plain weird. And the show is dotted from start to finish with a parade of cameos. So many people showed up in the series at one point or another, and it has a pretty kick-ass opening theme song. The main issue is that it gets old after a while, so I can't marathon it. I have to watch bits and pieces. But I do want to get this complete series, finish the show, and save a lot of space on the shelf. Another show that may or may not be aging well, but I believe this particular story arc has been well received, and it's a show that has my continued interest despite its many flaws, not the least of which the flaw of the ungodly Aniplex of America price tag is Aniplex of America's new release, Sword Art Online Alicization, which I really don't know what season that is. I've lost track. I think it's season 4. Does that sound right? But like I said, I think it's supposed to be pretty good. Aniplex release, unless you're rich, you may be better off streaming it. Regardless, you may be better off streaming it. It is an SAO title, but I got through the first season, and although I hated parts of it, I thought it was pretty fascinating overall. So it's a mixed bag.
Way too expensive for my taste.
Oh, if it was a kick-ass series all the way through, I would pay it in a heartbeat. But it's too uneven. I don't know. Another one, I know pretty much jack shit about the series, but I've played the video game, and Funimation is slapping an Essentials label on one of the BlazBlu series, and the video game is fun, so I'll have to check this out eventually. Do you remember the full title? Because I didn't write it down.
Let's see here. I just wrote BlazBlu, but you know, I played the games.
This week there's an Essentials release.
Yeah,
and the game is essential. Huh?
If you like the Guilty Gear series, you'd like BlazBlu.
Yeah, it's the same creators, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And Guilty Gear is a fun game. I'm big on fighters. I'm not a big gamer overall, but I like fighters, and that was a good one. And then we have another anime. Sentai Filmworks is releasing season 2 of a girl band series called Bang Dream. I have season 1. I will be getting season 2, probably right around Christmas when Sentai does an insane sale like they often do. Or maybe next year. I don't know. I still need to watch the first season.
Oh, there's a new reason for you to want to go to Switch because the Clannad is coming out officially on the Switch.
Is it?
Yep.
Well, I have recently finally started using Steam, and Clannad's on Steam. I just don't want to pay for it. It's like $70.
See, what you do with
that's all.
What you do with Steam is that you make a wish list of all the stuff you want. And then when they have one of their massive sales, because it's sometimes hard to keep up with the sales, but because of it's on your wish list, they'll email you that what's on sale on your wish list.
That's a good plan.
And then you can catch it when it's on sale. It's one of the easier. I've gotten stuff that I've wanted on Steam. Like I got the first copy of Higurashi, the first chapter, for $1.
Oh, wow, that's a lot cheaper. They're offering it right now.
So it's worthwhile.
I am kicking myself because there was a flash sale last week, and I'm kicking myself. They had the 3 parts of the Arkham series for $12. No, the whole thing, $12. I was like, I should have jumped on that. Whatever. Anyway, I just don't know when I'll have time to play.
Yeah, true enough.
So the last, I believe this is my last one.
Sorry.
I think there's one left. Yes, one left. I honestly had not even heard about this. I don't really watch a lot of TV, and I don't really stream much. So things slip by me. This is one I'm kind of surprised it slipped by me because it's an adaptation of a pretty badass series. Last year, there was that big to-do about the Great American Read, where they came up with a list of the books that you're supposed to make sure you read as a good American. And since I worked in a library, I made a point to read 10 books by the end of that summer. And one of them I picked was by an author who I have never read before, who is very popular among young adult audiences, Mr. John Green. And the book in question was a book called Looking for Alaska. My previous experience with John Green basically was watching The Fault in Our Stars, which is a pretty awesome movie, by the way. Still need to read the book. But I did read, and I'm sitting on a copy of Turtles All the Way Down that needs to be read. But I did read Looking for Alaska, and it's awesome. It's a really good book. It's about this kid, Miles Halter, who's essentially a stand-in for a young John Green. Just like him, he moved from Florida to a preparatory high school in Alabama as a mid high school, how do we want to say, junior year. I was trying to say mid-career, you know. And he is this kid who's obsessed with last words. And he falls under the spell of a very charming girl named Alaska, who is just about as morbid as he is. And they have a lot of fun. They and a couple other kids engage in a lot of escalating pranks that really, frankly, they pull some pretty major pranks. And then, spoiler alert, there's a reason why the book is called Looking for Alaska. It gets dark. It gets dark, and it goes into places you wouldn't really expect a teen book to go. And Hulu put out an 8-episode miniseries about the book, or based on the book. And I must watch this. I did recently watch their take on Catch-22, and while I was not blown away by it, it was serviceable. And even if this one is as good an adaptation as Catch-22 was, it'll be worth getting. So definitely for all you John Green fans, if you, like me, somehow didn't hear about this series, I would definitely give this a look. But even if you're just interested in like a teen drama that's actually done well, I'm assuming the movie is done well, series, I should say. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about a couple of these, not all of them, but a couple of them. Overall, it was kind of a light week. There wasn't a huge amount, but yeah, New Ip Man movie too. We forgot about that. I think it's supposed to be the last one.
Never know.
That's all I got.
You never know.
You never know.
So with that being said, I guess that's it for today's episode. If you've liked this, of course, hit that like button. Of course, you can really help us by subscribing. We were at a count of 198 subscribers. We are so close. We're like that close. 2 more and we can get to 200.
Yeah.
So let's
The
keep
3 of you find your friends and say, you gotta check out this channel.
And then they can tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends. And you can do that by sharing, of course. And you share, and the people know. Well, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right.